No, and I mean, I think Carrie, channels with kind of like Brett. Yeah. So I'm thrilled to have her on council, and it's not a ton more stuff.
I just bought this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was on sale for like $80 off. It's like getting better.
Oh sure.
Yeah, before us, I had
We'll get you a stool by this time.
yeah.
How are you? Oh, hey there. Can I help?
Yeah, Chris. See you again. Hi.
I'm Tom Riley.
Hi.
Who's that?
One of the people are on board and on the Port of 80
Wait. Thank you. So,
audio visual. Website.
I was.
Oh, so when you're coworkers?
Yeah, same person as her. I think she's my boss.
Yeah.
He was just one coworker. He's also the person who said, hey, the position's open. If you want to apply.
Yeah.
And I did.
Videos or video. Second prayer.
Captain Mullen? Hey, yes. Oh, yes. I'm like, why does this guy look familiar? I'm going to go get my wrestler. I got to go call my other wrestlers and make sure I'm protected and then found your career out. Oh, thank you very much.
Guy in the blue suit?
Yes. If you don't mind, can I use a piece of this?
Just wanted to say yes, good. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. No, I'm going to read it. Yep.
Sorry, I'm intelligent. Oh my god, she did this live?
Oh, you have to do with him?
It's my dad's process.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'll be right there. I recognize him.
So many people. Yeah. You're gonna become my grandpa. Knows everyone in like 3 cities. Oh my.
Hey, Chief Johnson, I'm Kevin Riley. I'm sorry. Hey, just wanted to let you know I've had the opportunity to observe a bunch of your interactions. You're so professional, so kind, really inspiring.
Look at that.
I'm familiar with my background.
Yeah, my son right in stage.
Yeah, not sources before, but they're much better. Yeah, I worked at Waukesha Fundamental Health for years, so I always departments were bringing in. But I'm tired now.
The stakes are higher.
Yeah, spending a little more time on memory.
And I've been on the ground with a bunch of your officers.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Or they're helping me, one or the other. Hold them down for a shot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you guys,
So tell them it's appreciated.
We wanted to be downtown. This is too good, right? I mean, we're connected with the very beginning of his career.
Yeah. Thank you for it.
No.
Are you kidding? It's Thanksgiving.
That's the start.
How you doing?
That's so pretty. Look at
I think we missed the perfect time of year where it goes straight down the whole street. But I've been wanting to get a photo of that. I would say at some point it's completely down. It's also that thing in New York. So like one day, twice every year, there's probably like thousands of photographers on the street.
Oh my gosh, I saw that on TikTok. It's so pretty. Oh, there she has a little camera.
Good. Do you have help, Carmen? No.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I was here earlier, but I have been back there, so I think it's all good. Oh, hi, how are you? Good. There's some elected, or emergency something. It does. So something to sit up there. She can say too.
I'm a fellow senior.
She can say.
Anywhere or is there?
There's reserved patients.
Civil presence.
Of course, it's going to stay everyone. That's the wrong pocket. This is one
Come over and say hi to you before it starts. Good to see you too. It's all unfortunate to see under these circumstances, but
Good outweighs evil.
that is definitely And I actually
I didn't see it. I thought I saw it.
Do you want? This is good.
Oh, very cool.
This is good. Should I have gotten your dad and mom one?
No, we have one from 4th of July. But I want to get one.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to try it.
He's taking a choice.
Just look at the beautiful sunset. God, dig up it's nice to meet people in person versus just seeing them, online or very well. We are not part of Waukesha North. You did a program?
Yeah, we did. One more.
Yeah. Good for you.
I will take them over and make you.
Oh yeah. Special events.
Enjoy the mascot. I'm the chaperone.
12 years around the know.
That's your problem.
It's smushing my hand. No?
Seeing all the stuff that you do. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to get a couple more photos.
Oh, you want to?
I just want to try to sit down
Oh, gotcha. Oh. Do you think they have one more?
So they have more.
Only one over there. So then have you been on that building?
I haven't gone to the restaurant yet.
What other buildings they connect to?
Need to. They've got out of the
Really? Will they just pick up Spider-Man and jump from building to building?
I mean, depending on what building you're in, kinda. You can kind of do that people's park street. You can just climb over the different buildings.
I still would like to I saw that.
I like tripping today.
You can just sit.
I've been coming again. I know I'm ready.
30 years, right?
I just go up there.
Well, I'm glad I showed up and told me, otherwise which is fine too.
You need to have a red eye. Just check it out. Day two. I will always. Such a hot-blooded Probably. And then oh my God! Come
Clouds are moving out of the way now. Or at least a lot of them, the dense ones.
Sorry about that. My dad threw it to me and I tried to grab it. That's why I never put that. I just want this like
My baby is
My grandpa
Well, she's not here.
Testing. Oh, it works. Let's start. If you're going to be, if you have a seat, you probably start sitting down. Please.
It was such a big start.
Nice to meet you.
Still a couple of minutes. All right. I'll stand back a little, I think. I'm not sure how, hopefully this all works. It is 4:39. I want to welcome everyone to tonight's ceremony. I tell you that it really warms my heart to see so many people here, and I really appreciate it. First of all, we have many elected officials here. I am not going to go through them all because we got to get to the more important parts of the program. Although I do want to say we do have Governor Evers, Senator Baldwin, and Congressman Fitzgerald here with us today, and we do appreciate that. I think we have most of the aldermen for the City of Waukesha and many of the county officials here too, so thank you. We know this is a difficult time for many of you. Over here on my left, we have Healing Hearts, United for Waukesha Resiliency Center, and the Waukesha County Victims Witness Assistance Program. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, or you want to talk, or you were feeling overwhelmed before and you know it's going to come back because of the holidays and all that, we have people here to help. Do not feel embarrassed to seek guidance. Do not tell yourself there are others in greater need. If you think you need help, get your butt over there and get connected to the resources. You can lean on others, it is okay. Pastor Chris Marine, chaplain for the Waukesha Police Department, will now offer a prayer for our community. Pastor?
I invite you to bow your heads with me. Holy God, 2 years ago, during a time of celebration, in a season of joy, we were confronted with some of the most difficult sights and sounds we may ever know. The loss of life, the great number of injured. It has been 2 years since we suffered through the events of that day. For some of us, it feels like yesterday. For others, we are still struggling to understand, to find some light scattered in our darkness. We are grateful for all those who gave of themselves that day. First responders near and far, who answered the call to run toward danger not knowing what they would encounter. Grateful for neighbors who stepped into the streets to offer comfort and begin to tend the injured. Grateful for strangers who offered their coats, their shoulders of support, any offer of protection. The love and support and quick thinking and selfless acts of so many. We remember the story of that day. The story is told in the instinct of parents and godparents, grandparents, teachers, and coaches who keep a watchful eye over those you entrust to them. It's told in the arms and quick reaction of healthcare workers, the faces and strength of first responders, the response of leaders to work to protect us in new ways. We remember Virginia, Leanna, Tamara, Jane, Wilhelm, and Jackson. We remember their families, those who were injured physically, those who continue to struggle with their mental health. Healing comes in many ways, and yet we are reminded healing comes to each of us in its own time. So remind us to be gentle with ourselves. Bring your peace to the moments that cause us to struggle. Let the light of this season bring joy to weary hearts, reminding us that when we feel alone, we need only look to our neighbor to be reminded we are not. May we each be signs of hope one to another, of a better day, a better city, a better world. Amen.
Thank you. That was heartfelt and beautiful. 2 years ago, our Waukesha community experienced fear, heartbreak, and loss. 2 years ago, we lost 6 lives. Virginia Sorensen. I do have a joke, but I'm not going to say it. I'm sorry. We lost 6 lives last year. Virginia Sorensen, Leanna Owen, Tamara Duran, Wilhelm Hospel, Jane Coolidge, and Jackson Sparks. Nearly 70 others were physically injured. Thousands experienced mental and emotional injuries. At this point, I'm going to ask you to please light your luminary if you have it, or your glow bracelets, and join me in a minute of silence to remember the victims of the Waukesha Christmas Parade tragedy. Thank you. We will not forget November 21st, 2021. On that day, we came together as a community to celebrate and to create for our children a lasting memory of the holidays. We gathered together to celebrate life. What started as a joyful celebration changed to horror and trauma. The pain inflicted cut into our souls. Immediately after the horror, however, our community responded with bravery, love, compassion, and unity. We have been Waukesha strong every day since. As a community, we continue to help those who need healing. We continue to stand with them, stand by them, and pray they find peace. Many are still mourning, still healing physically, and still emotionally working through the tragedy. This memorial, right over here, honors all those impacted by the tragedy. It is a permanent symbol of love, compassion, unity, and support. The Parade Memorial Commission's goal was to thoughtfully honor the victims of the Waukesha Christmas Parade tragedy, to provide an opportunity for reflection, to represent healing as a community. Their work is not yet done, but I thank them for this beautiful and moving memorial. I also thank all those who have donated to the Parade Memorial Fund or have committed to contribute their time, talent, and materials to make the next memorial possible. On my right are the names of donors, of some of the donors. Each of the donors is deserving of our thanks. Please take the time to see who our donors are. You can see it on our website also. It lists all the donors. And thank them for their donations. Donations are still needed to complete the memorial at Grady Park. One way to donate is, there's QR codes on here. If you wish to do it that way, you can do it on your phone through the QR code. You can also go to the city website or to the Waukesha County Community Foundation for more information on donating to make the next memorial a reality. There's also another opportunity for you, and this is becomes much more personal, and it also, I think, people who have done this, I hear just phenomenal things about it, and that is by contributing with a tile through the Waukesha Strong Tile Project. For a $25 or more donation, you can engrave a clay tile that will be installed in a wall at the Parade Memorial at Grady Park. Following the conclusion of this ceremony, there will be an opportunity to have make those tiles right at the Clark Hotel, right straight through there. That's possible because Carmen De La Paz is making the tile project possible. Carmen truly shows her love of Waukesha with the time and expertise she's putting into the tile project. The finished tile wall at Grady Park will be both beautiful and impactful. I now have the privilege of introducing the Governor of Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers, to say a few words. Governor, please come up.
Thanks, Mayor, and good evening, everybody. It's my honor to be here with all of you as we dedicate this memorial and recognize the second anniversary of this senseless act of violence. 2 years ago now, this community and our state were devastated by an unthinkable tragedy. In the wake of that devastation, we saw an entire community come together to help one another, to mourn together, and to begin the long road towards recovery. And we saw the kindness, strength, and resilience of Waukesha as a community united behind the message, Waukesha Strong. From the first responders to off-duty nurses to neighbors, friends, and loved ones who ran towards danger without a second thought. To those who gave their time and resources to help support the families forever changed by this tragedy. And to the local groups and organizations in this community that have been here to provide the much needed support in the months and years that followed. Your selfless actions in your neighbor's greatest moments of need are an incredible example of the true spirit of Waukesha and the state of Wisconsin. Your actions have reminded us of what it means to be part of a community. And now this memorial will forever stand as a tribute to your work to find the strength to rebuild together. But the healing and the recovery isn't over, and it probably never will be. I hope tonight serves as a reminder that you are not alone in your grief, and that you find comfort and strength in the community you built, and that you will continue to build. And just as you have been there for each other in so many ways, please know that your fellow Wisconsinites and our entire state are with you too. Kathy and I are thinking of all of you, all the victims and survivors of this tragedy, those with wounds both seen and unseen, and of the first responders, healthcare workers, and heroes who responded. And today and every day, we are keeping Tamara, Wilhelm, Jane, Leanna, Virginia, and Jackson and the families in our hearts. Their memories will live on through the unity, strength, and light felt throughout this community, and they will never be forgotten. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor, for your heartfelt words. And also, if you weren't aware of it, statewide flags were lowered in remembrance of all the victims of the parade tragedy by the governor's office. We truly appreciate the support Waukesha has and continues to receive from throughout the state of Wisconsin, the nation, as well as the world. In the midst of tragedy, heroes emerged. This includes those in our Waukesha Police and Fire Department. The first responders from the Fire and Police Department saved many lives, and along with others in the crowd, many others in the crowd, were heroic in their actions to come to the aid of the injured. They, like many others, were deeply impacted by this tragedy. I have the honor of introducing Steve Howard, our fire chief, and Dan Thompson, our police chief, to say a few words. Police Chief Howard will speak first.
As we come together today as a community to dedicate this memorial, to assist the community to heal, and to honor those whose lives were lost and all those who were impacted by this horrific tragedy, I had the opportunity to reflect on what I was going to say today. And I have to be honest, I struggled a little bit with what to say given the scope and the impact of what has happened with the community. Over the past 2 years, I've had many opportunities to speak about this event, whether it be a press conference, past memorial services, and also many sessions of training with first responders so that the hard lessons that were learned here will not be repeated in other communities. Despite all this talking that I've done in the past, it is a challenge to find meaningful words that serve to comfort the families who lost loved ones, to the people who were injured, to the first responders, to the healthcare workers who provided care for the victims of this tragedy for many days, to all the people in our community that were impacted by this. A few days ago, or a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go out to dinner with a good friend of mine who also happens to be a pastor. He reminded me during our conversation that there are many seasons in our lives. Many of these seasons are beyond our control and are not of our own doing. There are times in our lives that are joyful. There are times that are sad. There's times that we search for answers that may not come. There are times for mourning, times to mend and heal, and times to remember those. And that obviously is why we're brought together today. Everyone who's been impacted by this tragic event is going through their own seasons of their lives at their own pace. It's hard for me not to remember what I witnessed 2 years ago on these very streets. It's hard to come to Main Street and not remember. I parked my vehicle basically right where the crowd is parked. When I got in my vehicle, as part of the response, as many first responders, was working my way to the command post. I encountered a fellow city employee that I worked with for many years. He was struggling to find his daughter, who was a member of the Waukesha South Band at the time. I didn't even remember the conversation or seeing it. 2 weeks later, we had an opportunity to talk about that moment, and my memory started to come back. And thankfully, in that moment, I was able to provide him a little bit of comfort as he was struggling to locate his daughter. Now, as I look at the 5 points, I see the memorial. The memorial has the 2 ribbons that form a heart shape. The ribbons representing the victims and all those impacted by this tragedy. The heart formed by the ribbon symbolizes the healing and the strength of the community. For me, this memorial and its symbolism helps to reframe this part of Main Street for me as I look at this and see that the strength of this community and how people have come together in face of this tragedy. It is my hope and prayer that this memorial serves to assist the community in transforming and containing the painful experience that is part of the very unfortunate season of our lives by those who were affected by this tragedy. Now it's my privilege to introduce the Police Chief, Dan Thompson.
Thank you for joining us here today as we gather to dedicate this solemn and heartfelt memorial in remembrance of the tragic events that unfolded during the Waukesha Christmas Parade on November 21 of 2021. We come together not only to honor the memory of those who lost their lives, but also to stand in solidarity with the survivors, their families, and the entire community that was deeply affected by this senseless act of violence. On that fateful day, a joyous celebration turned into a nightmare, leaving our community shaken and our hearts heavy with grief. As we reflect on the lives lost and countless others forever changed, we must also draw on strength from resilience and the unity that has emerged from the darkness. We demonstrated light. Today, we dedicate this memorial to the memory of the innocent souls who were taken from us too soon. Their lives were filled with promise, love, and joy. And it is our duty to ensure that their light continues to shine in our hearts and memories. Let us remember them not for the tragedy that befell them, but for the lives they lived and the love they shared and the impact they had in our community and each and every one of us. In the face of tragedy, we have witnessed the incredible strength and resiliency of this community. The first responders who rushed to the scene, the medical professionals who provided care, and the countless individuals who offered support in the aftermath. Your courage and compassion exemplify the spirit that will guide us as we move forward, determined to heal and rebuild. As we observe this beautiful memorial piece, let us also reflect on the importance of unity, empathy, and kindness. In times of darkness, it is our collective humanity that can light the path toward healing. Let us reach out to one another, offering comfort, understanding, and a helping hand to those who continue to bear the weight of this tragedy. May this ceremony serve as a reminder that even in the face of unmeasurable sorrow, our community stands strong. Let us honor the memory of the victims by fostering a community that values love over hate, compassion over cruelty, and unity over division. Therefore, we will carry the light of hope forward, ensuring that the memory of those we lost will forever be etched in our hearts, and that their legacy will inspire us to build a brighter and more compassionate future for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Howard and Chief Thompson. The tragedy on November 21st, 2021 impacted all of us deeply. There is, however, little that equals the loss of losing a loved one. The next two speakers are Taylor Coolidge and Sherry Sparks. I can only imagine how difficult it will be for each of them to speak, but it's also very brave. Taylor lost her mother, Jane Coolidge, who was walking in the parade with Citizens Bank. Sherry's sons, Tucker and Jackson, were walking with the Blazers when they were both struck. Jackson did not survive his injuries. Thankfully, Tucker did survive and is here with us tonight. Taylor Coolidge will speak first, and then Sherry. Taylor.
On a day dedicated to remembrance, I'd like to share a story with you of what I remember. I'm sure we can all vividly remember what we were doing on that day, so I'd like to share a snippet from the morning. On the morning of the parade, my sister and I had just went to breakfast, and I was going to drop her off at home, but just as I did, I had this overwhelming feeling as I was driving off, something powerful that said, "Go talk to Mom." I know how weird this sounds, and trust me, it was weird, but I decided to listen, and I'm so glad that I did. I turned the car around, parked, and went inside. I talked to Mom for a few hours. We were planning our next family vacation, and she was excited about her next career move at the bank that she had been working hard toward. She was super thrilled to be walking in the parade with her friends from work, which was an especially big deal for her since she had surgery a couple months prior, and this was her putting that leg to the test. We talked and laughed, and I truly enjoyed my mom's company for what I had no idea would be the very last time. Her name was Jane, but to me, she'll always be Mom, and she's so much more than that. She was a grandma, or Mima, as Kylie used to call her. She was a sister, or rather Payne, as that's what her big sister nicknamed her as a kid, which then carried on with my cousins too. And she was also a damn good friend. She was a goofy, kind spirit that always had your back no matter what. She was someone you could count on. And although she is no longer with us, she lives on through us because having her in our lives shaped a part of us in some way or another, and that makes me smile. We get to keep our memories, and we get to carry on in a way that reflects who she was. I can only speak for myself, but I have a feeling that a lot of us feel this way. We grow with grief. We don't get over it. We learn to embrace this new person it's transformed us into. Of course, we still cry at times, but we also still laugh. Sometimes, both at the same time. Grief is just love with nowhere to go. So as we mourn our loss of our lives before this, I ask that we also remember to cherish the good that we had. We will never forget what happened that day and what we lost, but we must also remember to keep living. I'll never forget the way my mom died, but I'll also never forget the way that she lived. I'll never forget how she took care of me, of our family, how she was there for me when I needed her. The way she showed up, the way her smile lit up a room, the way she giggled, the way she made people feel special. I choose to focus on the good. I didn't get to say goodbye, so that's something I try to take into each day that I wake up. I try to remember to treat each moment as if it were my last, because if anything, that's what this tragedy has taught me, to be present, that each day is a gift, not to be taken for granted, that the people we have in our lives are gifts to be treasured, but unfortunately, we're temporary. Nobody is permanent, so we must cherish them in the time that we get to have. Everyone in and at the parade was serving the same purpose. They were there to spread joy, laughter, and love. A united front in spreading holiday cheer. In all the aftermath of what happened that day, that's what our community continued on to do. We united in strength, resilience, spreading good faith and hope. We were there for each other. Because of that, I now have new friends and support systems I never could have imagined. I have met so many people that just wanted to help in some way. Our community rallied together, providing comfort, a listening ear, condolences, money, food, time, you name it, people were handing it out. And I think that's super beautiful. On behalf of my family personally, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that has supported us through this time. You're all amazing and appreciated more than you may know. The outpour of support we have received over the past 2 years is absolutely incredible. I've watched so many beautiful relationships blossom from the chaos. Complete strangers have turned into friends as they were willing to dedicate their time and effort to take a load off someone else's plate. Again, truly beautiful. That's true support. It shows the kindness and good nature that exists within us. Our Waukesha Strong community continues to amaze me as we still come together in support of one another in so many ways. That's what I like to focus on. We can't change what happened, but we get to decide how we move forward. The fact we choose to move forward with strength and love makes us the light in a world that can be so dark. To all of us who lost someone, or a piece of themselves that day, or both, I know how much it means to hear these words. You are safe, you are loved, I am here for you, and I am proud of you. Sometimes we still have rough days, and that's okay. Just please remember to give yourselves and others some grace, because life is too short, so let it be sweet. I'd like to introduce my good friend, Sherry Sparks.
Okay, I'm gonna follow that. I'm Sherry Sparks. Most of you know my story already. November 21st, 2021. 2 years have passed now. I still remember everything from that day. It seems like so long ago, yet it feels as though it was just a few days ago as well. A lot of people have asked me how I keep smiling, how I keep staying positive, keep going, how I even keep living. Honestly, it's hard. It's really hard sometimes. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. I try not to let the negative, the anger, the sadness consume you. You can't. It will consume you, and it can ruin you. And it's a tough balance, but it's exhausting. But I do it for my boys, for Jackson and for Tucker. I know Jackson would want us to keep living. He wouldn't want us to be sad and angry all the time. He would want his family and friends to smile and laugh still, and still talk about him. I know this in my heart, and I try to focus on all the good that has come out of this tragedy. Sorry. Whew. Jackson was my baby. He was a bright light in my life, and in our family's life. Life was too quiet, and home life was way too calm without him. I miss him so much, it physically hurts at times. The holidays are coming. They can be tough. It's wonderful to be surrounded by family and loved ones and enjoy the season. But it's also a painful reminder of his absence. Jackson's brother Tucker was also hit and critically injured that day. He's fully recovered, thankfully. He has overcome so much in these last 2 years, both physically and emotionally. He misses his brother a lot. Tucker is so much stronger than he knows, and I am so proud of the young man he is becoming. Friends, family, strangers, this whole community, the Waukesha community, our home Quantico community, and others have supported us and helped us so much these last 2 years. This community has come through with so much love and support, endless hugs, and more. Thank you to each and every one of you for loving my family, for loving my boys, for cheering Tucker on as he recovered, and for keeping Jackson's spirit alive and not forgetting him. I have so much love for all of you. Today we honor Jackson, Virginia, Jane, Leanna, Tamara, and Wilhelm. Friends old and new, thank you. We will never forget, and we are Waukesha strong.
Thank you both for your powerful words, and we are so grateful for the strength you had today. Please know that we are here to support you and your families, as well as all the other families that were so deeply impacted by this tragedy. So many experienced great loss and pain. The Milwaukee Dancing Grannies is one of those groups. They lost 4 of their members. They took their pain and anguish and found a way to channel it into something beautiful. They refused to allow the tragedy to define them. They continued dancing, spreading joy. They are truly remarkable. The Grannies will now join us on stage for a song. Listen to the music along with the Dancing Grannies. Grannies, right up here, please. We got a lot of grannies.
Yes. Beautiful.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, no. the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea. I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
Thank you, Grannies. Thank you so much. Standing together shows our community's strength, unity, love, compassion, and resilience. We will continue to stand together, and we will continue to heal both as individuals and as a community. I am proud of Waukesha Strong. I have one final thought to say. This memorial has an inscription. I'll read the inscription and then our program is concluded. Like ribbon woven, we are stronger together. One ribbon represents the victims. One ribbon represents all that were affected. Looking through an open heart upon the city, a symbol of healing and strength. In tragedy, our community unites. Dedicated to those who lost their lives, were injured, and all who were touched by the tragedy at the Waukesha Christmas Parade. I just have to say thank you so much for being here. This is something that really helps our community. Your presence, your support. I thank you very much. We're done.
Oh yeah. Good Thanksgiving. Yeah. No favoritism though, right?
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
My favorite Jerry. Then they got old enough to figure out I wasn't saying your favorite song.
Appreciate it.
Come on, that's not fair. I'm making a video with you. Oh no, there's no. I know.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Good. Good. We try to go about nice. How are you doing? Cracked everything out of us. It's over 24 hours. I don't think. Yeah. One time I was like, I'm gonna need 2 days. Oh, they barely made a difference. It's just what happens when you turn 70? Everything goes out the window.
Especially.
Who's our DA now?
I'm still there.
I'll let you. Yeah. And where's your call?
Down here somewhere. Yeah.
She was going to come, but I think the cold weather kind of scared her away. Yeah. You two, thank you again for everything. Both of you, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, Leslie.
Okay.